Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM on a Friday morning. It's March 3rd in the year 2023. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name is Joe Callahan. With us at the Coffee Ann table, Dave Richards is here. Hello there, Dave.
Oh, how do you know? That's me.
And also being joined by Richard Severia. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here. We're going to talk to Richard about a program he's got going on for CPR training in just a minute. But Dave, time for your first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Joe, hold up the front page of today's Woonsocket Call, and you'll see some things about the Woonsocket. Well, it's right behind you there on the table. Hold that up there so everybody can see it, and you'll see, or give it to me, and I'll hold it up there. You can move camera one in there.
There we go.
Put it over here, and then take a look where camera one is pointing. I just wanted to show everybody, nice picture there from the annual meeting of the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, where they had everybody who's anybody was there, and you'll see pictures. You got Bob, what's his name, Phillips in there. You've got Representative Steve Casey in there. You've got Sakarchi is in there. My goodness, the House Speaker, and all that kind of stuff.
All the big names.
Right. That was at the annual meeting, and a picture taken over there. We've got all kinds of other interesting things coming along here. I'm bringing it up on my email right now. Brand new event just put in here. Let's Talk Labor, addressing Rhode Island's workforce challenges. That's a meeting coming up March 23rd from 8 in the morning till 9:15. And it's, there's all kinds of interesting things. They have the EV charging station requirement for single complex large employers. In other words, the state's right there, and they're going to say, by the way, you don't have any electric vehicle charging stations. Cough up the dough, you better put them in, or there's going to be problems. And the state's going to do that to you. I'm glad Melissa's not here right now because I'd be giving her the stern look. Anyway, employer incentives for hiring will be discussed on March 8th. Cheers for 3 years. The Women's Business Council anniversary party is coming up. And the Eggs and Issues breakfast here in March is going to be Senate President Dominic Ruggerio, who obviously feels a little slighted because the governors had their chance and the Sakarchi and over in the House has had their chance. Maybe they're saying saving the best for last. It's Senate President Dominic Ruggerio on March the 30th for the Eggs and Issues breakfast. All these things at the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. And if you want to get in on the advocacy or any of these wonderful festivities or programs that you'd like to take part in, it all comes to your email box very, very simply. And then all you got to do is click on register, and you're in. And go there and meet some people who might be able to do you and or your business some good. Even if it's only a side hustle, folks, it's still a business. The Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce will advocate for you. Becoming a member is a good idea, and it's very easy. Just pick up the phone and call 334-1000 after 9 o'clock this morning. 334-1000. Anyone who answers the phone can tell you how the Chamber can work for you.
Very good there, Dave. Okay, as we mentioned, Richard Severia is here. He's got
is that who that is?
Yes, he's got a class coming up. I like the name of this, Rich.
But I didn't study.
Changing bystanders to by-doers. Huh?
Yes, unfortunately, there
And he
are
spelled
too many
it right,
incidents
too.
out there where emergencies take place out in the real world, such as someone choking, someone sudden cardiac collapse, and of course, most people will call 911 and then just wait for the rescue.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as the minutes go by, life drains from that body. So we're going to change bystanders into by-doers. We're going to teach people to recognize, hey, there's an emergency, call 911. At that point, assess the patient for responsiveness. And if they're not moving, not coughing, not responding, start doing compressions on their chests and start circulating that blood to keep the brain and the heart alive. And then if there's an AED around, and the AED is the only thing that's going to convert.
That's AED, yeah.
That's automatic external defibrillator, and it is automatic. You do have to turn it on, and you do have to push the button for it to deliver a shock, although there are some automatic AEDs out there. I venture away from those. it will deliver a shock, and hopefully it will convert that lethal rhythm and hopefully come back with a rhythm that will produce some blood flow. But the program that we're putting on is simply that, hands-only CPR. There's no airway management involved in this. The person needs blood circulation, and he needs to be defibrillated with an automatic defibrillator, and that could make a big difference. Rescue's coming. They're going to take it to the next level. But if you don't do anything, rescue has to start right from the start, and unfortunately, life may have drained out of that body.
Right.
So this class is going to take place at Holy Trinity's Parish Bingo Hall on Thursday, March 30th, 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's free.
It's free, and the great part is it's walk-in.
That's right. There's no reservations.
Just walk right in. My goal is to get at least 12 CPR stations, AED stations. I have people that are donating their time as instructors, seasoned EMTs, and they have a program to follow. It's very simple. You should be at that table no longer than 15 and 20 minutes to get the message across. Handouts will be given to refresh your memory. You'll be receiving a certificate. And the most important thing is you're going to know what to do if somebody happens to have a medical episode.
Sure. Now, you've been in on this stuff for a long time. Of course, you're a certified teacher as well, Richard, and all of your years on the fire department, plus your years in the as an EMT and medical professional. This stuff is all like the back of your hand. I know when I took the course, it was 2 days, 2 afternoons, actually.
Yeah, there was a lot of prudent living going on in
There
there
was-
as well. It wasn't just so much how to do compressions. They were getting into the life factors of heart disease.
Everything, cuts, burns.
It's too much for the
rest
lay
of that.
person.
It is.
We're making this incredibly understandable.
So
This
that
is where
someone
you-
can be a good Samaritan at a moment's notice and know what to do.
Well, look at yesterday, Joe. You were in the restaurant with me, and there was a man with a partial obstructed airway. He was choking on his food, but it wasn't a complete choking episode. He could still talk, but
Yeah.
he was coughing it up.
Yeah.
It went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah.
And of course, the defense mechanism is to cough to get it out of there.
Sure.
My wife spotted it before. My wife Cheryl, who's a nurse and also an EMT, also a CPR instructor, immediately went right up to him. "Are you okay, sir?" And then she would have taken it from
If they
there.
don't answer, you know it's a problem.
Yeah.
If they clutch their neck and they turn blue and they give you those deer in the headlight eyes,
You
yes,
know
there's a
something's
problem.
wrong.
Here comes the Heimlich maneuver.
All right. The now, Richard, back in the day, when they used to teach CPR, they always talked the compressions plus blowing into the victim's airways. Is that not part of the
It's
program anymore?
part of the professional medical
That's right.
responders.
So not
but
the lay
not
person.
not the lay person
Anymore. Okay.
If a lady goes down and she's absolutely beautiful and rich,
Now.
yes, she will get airway management from me. Other than that, the general public really doesn't want to put their mouth on anyone.
Yeah.
And yes, it's beneficial to the patient, but not as much as compressions.
Compressions, okay.
Compressions is everything.
Right.
And when you start compressions, it doesn't mean that your heart is receiving blood immediately and the brain, which cannot do to tolerate the lack of blood circulation. It takes about a minute and a half. And the minute you interrupt those compressions, that pressure goes down to zero again, and you're going to start all over. So the big thing is compressions, and no interruptions. And every 2 minutes, change partners.
Yeah, it's
Come
tiring.
on in, because it's hard work.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference. The AED, it's like you have a flat tire. I got a spare tire, but I don't know how to use the jack. But I got the spare tire. If the AED and CPR go in sync, the AED will convert that lethal rhythm. It's programmed to do that. It's a fantastic device. They average about $1,500 a piece. It is the state law that if your building has a capacity of 300 people, you have to have an AED. As far as
All
I'm
right.
concerned, if you have 25 people, you should
have
have
one.
an AED. Because the AED is going to make the difference.
Okay.
If you don't convert or address ventricular fibrillation, which is a lethal rhythm, within 5 minutes, the odds of converting that have already disseminated to 50%.
Wow. Okay.
So after 10 minutes, it's usually not good.
All right. This class that you're offering on March 30th, open to anyone over 18?
Does not be 18. If you're capable
okay.
of doing chest compression, I receive calls. I have a 12-year-old who babysits. I have a 13-year-old that babysits.
Okay.
I says,
It's a good idea.
then bring them on board.
Yeah.
I'll use their brain, and their brain will direct someone who is capable of delivering those compressions to a larger individual. Mm-hmm. If you're disabled, you still should be involved in this program because your brain will instruct someone who's physically capable but doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. All right. All right. That's great that it's open to all ages
Now, Richard,
as well.
This is, as you mentioned just a few moments ago, this is a quickie course, but it's absolutely vital. I think what am I trying? I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words. You can watch TV shows. And you can watch what people do on the TV shows, and you do, and I do, and we see that and say, well, that's not the way we were taught. That's good
it's
for
drama,
TV.
Dave. It's drama.
That's right. That's good for TV. But if that's all anybody's exposed to, then that's probably what they think is the right thing to do. This will show you the difference between the right thing to do and what you see on TV, and you'll remember it. People probably, they may be reluctant to get into it, but here's as far as it goes. It's real simple. 3 steps to save the life. Everyone can count to 3. It's really, really simple. And I encourage everybody to expose themselves. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is put in some time, which is valuable, of course, but you'll have a special confidence. I know when I took the full course some years ago, and I didn't think about it at the time, but afterwards, I said to myself, when we were out there in a crowd and something would be going on, I said, I know what to do. And I know the first thing to do is to assess the situation to see if me entering the situation is going to cause harm to me.
That's imperative. Your safety is number
Very
one.
first thing, look. Because it could be someone's being electrocuted. If you approach them, you could join them.
It could be an environmental hazard.
Right, all of that stuff. So you look to see what was the cause of the accident and quickly assess the safety of yourself entering there. Because it's another one of those things. If you don't take care of yourself, you're no good to anybody. And now there's 2 people that the first responders have to take care of.
That's an excellent point. That's the first part of this program, your safety.
Right.
You cannot engage if the scene is not safe.
Right.
The second thing, recognize something's wrong.
Right.
Call 911.
Right.
Everyone has an enhanced, in Rhode Island, we have an enhanced system. You call on a smartphone, they know your location.
Right.
Don't hang up, just keep talking and do CPR.
All right, put it on speaker and then go in and see what you can do.
Correct.
And if it's of course, I took a lot more than what you're talking. You're talking here about CPR and AED training. So skipping to that part, if someone showing the signs of having some heart problems or they're showing some pain there, then you know exactly what to do. You know the compressions. I know I was taught Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. Remember
Yes.
that? Were you taught that? Do you teach that in yours?
Yeah, I include that in the program.
It's
right, great.
it's funny. Well,
The perfect beat.
Well, sure, it is. Joe, maybe you can bring that up and just play it for the people who listen in so they'll know what we're talking about if they can't remember the song. Just the first few bars is all that we need.
It gives you the timing of the compressions.
Right.
The purpose is
Years ago, it used to be much slower. Now, they want you to compress many more times.
100 to 120 compressions a minute.
And this song
That's
is 100
Yeah.
beats per minute. If you push down on the chest every time that beat goes in there,
But the other important part,
then
Dave,
you'll
is
be doing it right.
you need to allow the chest to come to a full recoil so the heart can refill.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Well, yeah, you got to pull your hands back up.
That's correct. But don't lose contact
Don't-
with the chest.
Yeah. Don't push down and keep it down.
No.
They're short compressions. Short. You know?
You talk about TV. You talk about things that we see on TV.
Yeah.
Countless times I have seen people choking, and the bystander wants to engage, and they give them back blows because they saw it
that's a
on
bad
TV. That's the worst thing in the world you can do. You're going to make it go down deeper.
That's right, because they got
But they saw it on TV.
their reaction is that they'll inhale
That-
from the back blow.
Yeah, well, it's not just that, the vibration.
Right.
All right, Melissa Murray's joined us at the table, Coffee and Table. Hello,
And
Good
she's
Melissa.
staying
morning.
alive too.
Nice to see you here. All right, more coming up about this free hands-only CPR AED training course that's coming up on March 30th at Holy Trinity's Parish Hall. But we have to take a break. So, Dave, can we get another message, please, from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce?
Just a reminder of the phone number, Joe, because we gave you plenty message earlier. It's 334-1000, 334-1000. Call the Northern Rhode Island Chamber after 9 o'clock this morning, and anyone who answers can tell you how the Chamber can work for you.
Here it is March, and we're seeing more snow than all season.
Winter has finally arrived.
There's still more than a month left in the season.
Get ready for a snowy March. Wachusett's the place to be.
For more information,
Or to buy or reload your tickets online.
Go to Wachusett.
.com.
Recent news stories indicate that today many adults are concerned about the appearance of their teeth at work, socially, and even psychologically. If this is a concern for you, Dr. Jeffrey Dodge can help. They have an on-site laboratory to fabricate full or partial dentures. They also repair dentures. Having an on-site laboratory means that each step of the process is monitored by the dentist and the patient to be sure that style, shade, and shape are right for you. For more information, visit Dr. Dodge's website at drjedodge.com or stop in the office at 1438 Park Avenue at Park Square, 762-3044. 762-3044. Dr. Dodge, your family dentist.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON, AM, and FM.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray. We're also being joined by Richard Severia. He's got a class coming up, a free hands-only CPR AED training class coming up on Thursday, March 30th, 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Holy Trinity's Parish Bingo Hall, 1409 Park Avenue, right here in the city. Richard, how many instructors will you have there for this class?
I presently have 10 instructors. I have 2 administrative aides that are going to process the individuals when they come in. So when they come in, they're going to fill out a waiver form, which is standard procedure for CPR, and register. And as soon as you have a group of 5, you're off to a table and your instructions begin.
Okay. And how long does the instructions
About
last?
15 or 20 minutes.
So you're not there for the whole 2.5 hours.
No.
Well, no.
Yeah. Well, 3.5 hours,
And
actually.
like I said, maybe people got the wrong idea when I mentioned it earlier. I went for 2 full afternoons of training to get my certification, but it was for certification for a lot more than just cardiac.
There will be an extra 2 stations for choking. So if anybody wants to learn a little about choking, we have the choking mannequins there. But here's the big thing too. Father Dan from Holy Trinity asked me, he says, "Are you going to be teaching it in Spanish?" And I'm like, geez, I never gave that twist of thought. I'm sorry. So he's going to be supplying me with interpreters at each table.
Is he?
Oh, that's great.
Should somebody want to learn in Spanish, because cardiac arrest is not limited to the English-speaking people.
Well, right. It can happen to anybody.
So we're
May
going
I
to be
quote you
addressing,
on
we're
that?
going to be addressing that.
Great. That's wonderful.
Wow. Okay. So if they have any questions or about what's going on, they can contact you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can they get a hold of you, Richard? How can they get a hold of you?
My cell phone number is 401-527-8959.
All right. How long have you been teaching CPR? Can you go back that far?
40 years.
40. Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I started in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Well, my involvement with public safety was I was a recovery diver. I used to be
Okay. Yeah,
called
I remember
to,
that. Lime Rock Pits.
I've been in every inch of the Blackstone River. I've been in every other hole.
down the
Again,
ocean?
for dignity of the family, to recover the bodies.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't satisfied with that, and I became an EMT, and then created a dive team back in the mid 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and have 2 saves under the team's belt, both in North Smithfield, one at the Trestles and one behind the post office, Slaves
Wow.
Road. So there is fruition to efforts.
Yeah. Well, good for you. That's fantastic.
As far as CPR goes, you don't think of it until something happens in front
Until
of you.
it's needed, yeah.
And recognition of a disaster coming down the road, anytime you touch someone with permission, and their skin is cool and clammy, diaphoretic,
Shock.
that's shock, that's a problem, that's 911. Don't even argue with the person. call the rescue. Let the professionals come. In the meantime, support life if necessary. They will come. The EMTs in Rhode Island, on like Woonsocket Rescue, Cumberland, North Smithfield, they are all on an ALS level, advanced life support. A very thorough
Lot of training,
understanding. The level of care you're going to get on the street is darn close to what's in the hospital. And please understand
They
this.
just don't have all the equipment.
They don't have it all, but they have enough to make
Right.
a difference. We're going to stay and play for 30 minutes right there on scene. We're not going to put them in the rescue because interruptions is a problem. So they found out that if you continue CPR for 30 minutes on scene with no interruptions, survivability goes up to 65%.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. They can't continue the CPR in the ambulance as they go into the
It's not
hospital?
as-
Oh yeah, and now
It's
we
very
have
difficult.
We have we have the Lucas device, which is an automatic CPR compression device that attaches to the longboard. So you have continuous the same quality of compressions. And then they can go on to administration, protect the airway, take care of whatever electrical therapy that's going to go on. But that's getting a little bit above. But Rhode
I didn't
Island
know
should be very
about that new
proud.
device. I know that doing compressions in a moving vehicle is challenging.
It is, especially when somebody cuts off the rescue and you'll end up in the hole.
Or you hit a pothole and you push too
Yeah.
hard.
No, the pothole's been taken care of. Thank you, Melissa. 146 is a lot nicer than
Oh
it
my
used
gosh,
to be.
isn't it? Isn't it?
That was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, I know. It was like Mario Kart driving. Like, it was just awful.
I want to give you an example. Denmark, years before this was implemented, had an out-of-hospital survival rate of 18%. So if you sustained a cardiac arrest episode outside of the hospital,
Right.
your survivability was 18%. It went up to 85%. Wow, what did you do? You cannot graduate high school without a CPR card. You cannot get a driver's license without a CPR card, and that includes renewal. And all public buildings, building above a certain capacity, have to have an AED. Therefore, out-of-hospital survivability in Denmark is 85%.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not
It's
bad.
remarkable.
And it's not a complicated course. They're basically teaching the
But
same thing
they have
hands-on.
a different constitution than we do too. So, well, they could just say, okay, this is the way it's going to be, and there's no vote. You see,
Speaking of part of the choking event, I was promised steak and eggs this morning for coffee in. I don't
promised?
see any of this.
if
No, just coffee.
Cheryl promised it to you, I'm not responsible.
Cheryl's working. What Cheryl doesn't work is her business.
Rich, of all your years of teaching CPR, has anyone come back and said, hey, I took one of
Yes.
your classes and I had to use it?
Yes. Jean Marchand was one.
Yeah,
she
that's
was
right.
at the food kitchen. I had
That's right.
just
She
taught
did
her
the
not
Heimlich?
that long ago.
Wow.
And what transpires is a lot of people want to help, but they don't know what to do. So you panic. Panic is the replacement for knowledge. Jean knew what to do. She called me up. She was practically crying. You're not going to believe what I just did. I says, it's good to cry now. Get it out of your system.
Right.
I said, so how did you react when you were alerted that there was a problem?
She was
And
calm.
she says, I knew what to do.
Right.
And I just did it. It was like I was programmed to do it. In another instance, I've been teaching a lot of Stop the Bleed programs because bleeding is the #1 preventable cause of death. Your body only has so much blood, and it is your lifeline. A gentleman
The
went
worst
out,
thing is if it leaves your body too fast, your blood pressure goes down, and then shock comes in.
irreversible shot. This gentleman went out in the wood with his dog, and the dog was running around and lacerated his front leg on barbed wire.
Yeah.
And he knew what to do and applied the tourniquet to the dog's leg
Wow, did it save it?
and saved the dog. The vet just looked at him and said, you just saved your dog's life. So that could have been a person as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
And there are many ways that people will bleed. Motorcycle accidents, ATV, motor vehicle, chainsaw, snow blowers.
Oh.
There's a lot of ways where box cutters, you're getting tired, you're
Cooking dinner.
slicing, and you hit a major artery and there it goes.
Right.
So everything is hand in hand. But the CPR is another vital thing that the public can go from bystanders to bydoers with just little knowledge until rescue gets there and takes over.
Let me ask you this question, Richard. If there is an AED of a device in a building where there's a situation and you haven't been trained on it, should you, as a bystander, try to make it
There
work?
are
Yes.
instructions.
There are?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
The minute you turn it on, it tells you what to do.
Yes. Does it? Okay.
doesn't get into the particulars like we'll teach you in this program,
Mm-hmm.
such as when you put the pads on, if somebody has a medication patch, you need to remove that, because if you put the AED pad on it, you could have a fire because it has nitroglycerin in it. It's a vasodilator for people with heart problems. You could have a pacemaker. You put that AED pad on top of that pacemaker, the defibrillation process will be interrupted. If somebody is highly, highly diaphoretic, the shock will not go through the heart.
All right, well, hold on. Tell everybody what diaphoretic means.
Oh, diaphoretic means heavy sweating.
Right.
And if you're in shock, you will have heavy sweating.
Right.
At that point, the shock will run the surface as opposed to wiping them off with a hand towel. So the shock goes through the organ.
Or even their shirt if you have to. Wiping them off even with their shirt. I mean, you gotta dry the chest before you put it on.
Anyone sustaining a cardiac arrest or heart attack will be highly diaphoretic, and it will be cold. That's shock. These are very important things. But for the most part, the dispatcher at 911 will walk you through it.
Yeah.
And the instructions are on the machine. It doesn't replace the course, but it does replace not having anything at all.
Right.
And the AEDs we have today are very, very sophisticated. The only thing I'm not in favor of is an automatic AED where it recognizes that lethal rhythm. It tells you it's going to shock, and if you don't hear it, as you all know, whenever there's cardiac arrest and CPR going on, it's very quiet. No, it's not.
No,
There's
it isn't.
crying,
It's
there's
chaos.
screaming going on.
Right.
You may not hear that machine, and somebody's
And
going to.
if you don't pull your hands
You
away,
don't pull your hands away, somebody's going to get part of that shock.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have two, one you saved and the one you just created.
yeah, you have to worry about that.
All right, the free hands-only CPR AED training, Holy Trinity Parish Bingo Hall, 1409 Park Avenue in Woonsocket, Thursday, March 30th from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Just stop on in. There's no registration.
I have one other question now, Rich. Should people not be able to go to this one for any reason? Do you have another one planned soon, or what's the deal?
Not at this time. My teaching schedule is. I'm supposed to be retired.
Yeah, well, we know that's the certain.
That means more work.
That's right.
That's what retired means.
Retired means that you are busier now than you were when you are on a schedule.
Yes, and I'm not involved with Autumnfest anymore either. I mean, that took up a lot of my time.
Sure it did.
And now what I got, I just.
And we miss you.
You move on. New blood comes in. They take over.
Yeah.
They do a great job. But you say to yourself, I have some free time now. No, something else comes about.
Sure.
That's because you're so knowledgeable. They need your knowledge, Rich.
Everyone is knowledgeable. Together, it's a big team effort.
It's because he's a doer, and it's always like the same people who are doers, right? So I got off all of my boards and commissions, and I said, I'm because I'm busy in the Senate, and so I got off all my boards and commissions, and that lasted about 2 weeks. And then I got on another board. So. It's
Well,
just
it
the way it
happens.
But
is.
it's all good.
But it is. It's all good. And sometimes you got to
It's all-
switch it up,
especially
right?
when someone comes back like Gene Mushon.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
I saved a man's life.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
says, well, you're not the only one to have said this, but this was the most recent. And then the gentleman that saved his dog from, a very
Right, and
bad
that was from
bleed.
your Stop the Bleed
That was from
program.
the one that you sponsored.
Yeah. The
Melissa?
arm and I need to be. I want to be trained on that because I feel like I
You
gotta.
purchased
she
the
has a
Stop the
dog.
Bleed training kit, which was not a very cheap item. Tourniquets right now were very hard to get. They're all going to the Ukraine.
Uh-huh.
So we had to pull a lot of
Yeah.
strings to get those tourniquets. They average about $35 a piece. And Senator Murray here sponsored that program. I thank you for that.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
big team effort here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, you can be sure that if Rich makes any new things, you'll be hearing about it here on the radio station, of course, because we always support our pals. And this kind of work is very, very easy to support. Rich, thanks so much for taking the
Welcome.
time
Yeah,
and
thank
bother
you.
to do this.
And the steak and eggs are located
They're out
where?
in the office. Yeah, feel free to pop over and
Down
get
at
some.
Debbie's, correct? That's right. Thank you for having me on board. I hope to see a lot of people there. I
Yes.
hope that we make
Yeah.
a difference for someone.
Thursday, March 30th, 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Holy Trinity Parish Bingo Hall. Call Rich Severi if you have any questions, 401-527-8959. It is free, and it's walk-in program, no registration.
And the Marine reunion is in the lobby.
That's right.
Oh,
Our next
busy with-
guest, our next
I'll
guest
be
is
busy
also
with
at the
that.
service.
Hoorah. But again, English and Spanish.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think that's
That's great.
very important. I don't want the Spanish community to say, "Oh, I'm not going to go. No speak English." Well, we're going to have a translator there.
That's
Good.
great. We'll spread the word for
Perfect.
you too.
God forbid I go down and I have a Spanish-looking woman come up to me and say, "Would you like CPR?" I can't talk at the minute. I'm in cardiac arrest.
That's right, yeah. All right. We're going to take a break here on the
Take care.
Coffee and
Richard-
program. More of coming up, but the time for the forecast being brought to you by unbound.org.
Increasingly cloudy today with a high of 42. Storm coming tonight. Tonight, snow possibly mixed with sleet before 3 a.m., then snow and possibly mixed with sleet after 4 a.m. after a little respite. Well, the snow could be heavy at times. Patchy fog after midnight. Overnight low of 31 degrees. Wind gusts to 35 or 40 miles per hour. The chance of precipitation overnight tonight is 100%, and new snow and sleet accumulations are now indicated for 3 to 5 inches for Woonsocket. Saturday, rain and snow, possibly mixed with sleet before 3 p.m., then a chance of rain for a while, ending as snow after 4 p.m. High of 38, windy. Wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. 100% chance of precipitation on Saturday, and new snow and sleet accumulations of less than a half an inch on top of the 3 to 5 is expected. Sunday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 42. Monday, sunshine and 45. Tuesday, a 40% chance of some snow in the morning, and mostly cloudy all day with a high of 40. Wednesday, sunshine and 42. And next Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high of 41.
Thanks, Dave. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with mostly sunny skies and 40 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, this is Dr. Eugenio Fernandez Jr. from Astinas Pharmacy. It's not too late to get your flu shot and the new Cobra booster. You can even get them both in the same visit. Vaccines reduce your risk of serious illness or hospitalization. Protect yourself and those around you. Call your doctor or pharmacy today. For more information, visit health.ri.gov/flu. That's health.ri.gov/flu.
This message is brought to you by the Rhode Island Department of Health and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hi, this is Joe Callahan, your maitre d' inside the Tiki Bar, heard Monday nights at 6 on ON Radio. It's 1 full hour of Jimmy Buffett music. The Tiki Bar is brought to you by Attorney Bob Lauder, the Carew Investment Group, Pepin Lumber, and Family Discount Furniture.
ON Radio, ON Worldwide.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Since its founding in 1996, the Valley Breeze has been the trusted source for local news in the Blackstone Valley. Our readers and advertisers understand that shining a light on all aspects of our communities and doing it with some of the best local journalism anywhere makes these cities and towns better places to live in. We believe that truth has value and should triumph over rumors and misinformation. See valleybreeze.com or any of our 5 editions for more on how you can be part of this local news success story.
Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and we're being joined by Rich Elaine from American Legion Post 85. Hello there, Rich.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to have you here with us. A successful trip last week.
Yeah. Didn't run into any snow up in the Berkshire area toward Albany, so everybody got delivered back to their home and made a nice, safe trip back, and here I am.
Excellent. Anything you want to Before we get to you, Melissa's got something she wanted to bring up, a little public service.
Oh yeah,
announcement.
yeah. But also a little bit about what we're talking about off air, about Woonsocket being the Paris of Rhode Island. It's funny little story that you mentioned that, because last night I hosted some kids from Rivers Edge Arts who went to the State House to do like a demystifying democracy kind of thing. But Rivers Edge Arts makes and prints a T-shirt, and I have one. I should have worn it today, and it says Woonsocket, the Paris of New England, and it has a little Eiffel Tower on it, and it's really, really cute. But that was not what I wanted to talk about.
All right.
So I had put in a bill that eliminates rental application fees, which is a really big problem. So, a lot of people are having a hard time finding housing right now. And now folks have started to do this thing where to even be considered, before you can even apply, fill out an application, you have to pay an application fee. And it can be anywhere from like $35 to $75. And I've even seen, because I've been looking for housing myself, and it's hard. There's not a lot out there. But sometimes they will do, like $75 per adult, meaning like if I have a partner and I have a 19-year-old child, and maybe that child's still in high school, you have to pay for each person. It's ridiculous. But when that press release came out, I was contacted by somebody in the administration who said, I saw that you did this, but also just so you know that there's a scam going on.
Ooh.
So what is happening is some folks are, they'll list something on like apartments.com or Zillow or, some other app where it will say, oh, there's $100 rental application fee before you can fill out the application. And you can pay by credit card. So put your credit card number in. And this Mike DeBryce, who works for the city, actually stopped someone from doing that and saved them from being scammed, because that apartment wasn't an actual apartment. It was just people who were scamming others to get that $100.
Wow.
And so I just wanted to let everybody know out there to be really, really careful. If you see an apartment online and they're like, oh yeah, just put in your debit card number to pay the application fee, that you really need to watch out, because that's a new scam that's going on. That's, obviously taking advantage of people who are either looking for housing or are housing insecure. So yeah, let's get rid of those fees, but also, just be aware.
What I would do is I said, meet me at the apartment. I'll take a look at it. If
Yeah.
I like it, I will hand you the cash.
That people don't do that anymore.
Well, that's too bad.
It
They
is,
should.
and it's really,
Bless you, Joe. Bless
really
you.
hard. Yeah, bless you. Because folks
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
That's how you and I would do it, but
so many of these renters. I said renters. I meant to say landlords.
Mm-hmm.
They run a BCI check on everybody
Yeah.
to see if they're letting criminals or people with criminal records into their dwelling spaces that they're renting out.
Yeah.
And the state police charges for that. And so you have to pay the state police. And where's that money going to come from if everybody just applies? So you charge an application fee. And then, of course, your time and your trouble and everything else like that. It gets out of hand. Some people game it. But there is a
Absolutely.
real reason. There are real costs to entertaining a request.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had an apartment. It was probably less than a year ago, and 30 inquiries. Didn't charge anything. Met with people, talked with people, and then at that point, I think like if you're down to like 2 or 3, and then you want to do some inquiries, and you ask them, hey, can I run a credit check? Can I do this? Can I do that? That's one thing. But just like getting money from people without them even getting anything for it,
Right.
you have to. That's step. It's not step number 1. It's maybe a defining step. Step number 2, and it's also the cost of doing business. But a lot of folks
Yes, but
companies who have
there are an awful lot
multiple-
of business people out there, Melissa, who don't really want a cost of doing business.
That's true. That's
And
true.
they
but-
want somebody else to pay their cost of doing business.
right. And again,
Yes,
it's
I
like
get it. And if you can do that, bully for you. But to me, it's immoral. It is a cost of doing business.
there is, but you can't. you can't ask for money without even,
Yeah.
without even
Well,
anybody
it's a
even
wonderful
like giving your
topic of
name and,
discussion,
and address. But let's
Let's
turn it
talk
over to
about
Rich. Let's talk
because
about
Rich has got stuff coming up, and he's got a big announcement he wants to make, and all the rest of this stuff. And he's sitting there very politely listening to you talk about this other topic.
I have a big announcement this morning.
Oh, I thought you did.
Make something up.
Well, can I? Let's get to what's going on tonight. First of all,
Let's go on.
let's talk
What's
about
going on
that.
tonight
So
at
you both
Post
got-
85 on River Street?
And you want to know what? If you forget what I'm about to tell you, just go to WOON's website.
Oh, yeah.
And look at the events page because it's on there too.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
It
right.
sure is.
But yeah, tonight over at the American Legion Post, starting at 6 o'clock tonight, they're going to be serving up a all-you-can-eat meal. I think they're doing chicken and the pasta and the roasted potatoes and stuff for $15 a head. That's an all-you-can-eat thing. And for those of us that are doing the Lent thing with no meat on Fridays, it's going to be some shrimp scampi.
Ooh.
That's a great deal.
Come on over, and the serving of the food starts at 6 o'clock. Like I said, $15 a head until it's gone. So, I mean, get there at 6 o'clock, you're probably going to eat. Get there at 6:45, you probably will not be able to eat. So, and then at 7 o'clock, Christine Boland is going to be there with Tim the Banjo Man, and they're going to provide some free entertainment for us. So there's not a cover charge, so come on in, have a bite to eat, and enjoy some music tonight.
And all are welcome, right?
All
you
are
don't have
welcome.
to be a member.
Always,
right?
always, all are welcome. It's a, and I've said it many, many times before. If it wasn't for the people in the community, Fairmount Post 85 would have probably been off the map years ago. So we really appreciate the support of the general public as well as our veterans.
Very good, Rich. All right.
And do you have something? Do you want me to do the big announcement now?
Yes.
Well, I got to kind of proceed it a little bit by first of all thanking you folks sitting here at this table for allowing me to come on Fridays and just promote the Post. It's really helped out. You probably don't see it as much as I do because I go down there and I'm seeing new people all the time, and they've mentioned that they've heard about it on the radio and stuff. So Joe, Dave, and Melissa, I want to just really
It's a
thank you
pleasure.
guys. I can't thank you enough. And another person out there who we know very well, Estelle Bubble. Estelle, and I hope you're listening, Estelle. She's the one that said to me about a year and a half. God, it's got to be a year and a half ago. Dave Richards is looking for you to come on, and you should go on WOON on Fridays. And so, Estelle, thank you.
Yeah.
And now the announcement. And it was Gary Smith, right?
Yeah.
Who comes on after you guys on Fridays. And Gary kind of expedited this, but I came on about a month and a half ago and was begging for a vehicle. Well, guess what?
And why did you want the vehicle?
We wanted a vehicle because it seems people in this veterans in this northern section of Rhode Island have expressed they're having a very difficult time through nobody's fault, by the way, and I don't blame the VA system or the transportation system. I don't blame them. There's just so many requests, and it's all out of Providence. And so the people in this very northern sector of Rhode Island, including some of the Massachusetts town right on the border, are having a very, very difficult time getting transportation to VA appointments.
Okay.
So I came on the air, and I was looking for a Cadillac Escalade, but
Well, you can always ask for the top.
Yeah, you can always ask for the top. I was always taught by my dad. I always have no. I might as well go for a yes, and that's proved me pretty good this time around because through Gary Smith and Dave and you, Joe, we have been given it looks like to me, because I drive one, a Chevy Impala.
2008 Chevy Impala. We have a picture of it that we can show the folks who are watching on TV.
There it is.
Yep. And so for all you veterans out there in the northern Rhode Island area and the bordering Massachusetts towns, if you are in desperate need of a ride to a VA appointment, we will very soon have that vehicle on the road once we obtain possession of it, because this is a photo from the dealership, Imperial.
Up in Mendon.
Imperial in Mendon.
And
Yep.
they're waiting for a mirror to arrive that has been ordered and it hasn't arrived yet. You know
Yep.
how that's going these days.
Is it a outside mirror or the rearview mirror
They didn't
inside?
give verbose. They just simply said they're waiting for the arrival of a mirror because they
Okay.
don't want to give it to the post until it's perfect.
Because I see one on the passenger side here.
Well, that's right. That's
Okay.
why. By the way, they've already lettered it. Look at this beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that great?
Oh, hey.
Great.
Yeah. And I was not expecting that. I just, Dave, when you said to me, send me something or whatever you guys want for lettering, I mean, I said, all right, I'll send them this nice JPEG, of our logo, and hey, if they want to put that, that'd be fantastic. But they can put just a simple lettering. But man, when I saw that, I was like over the top, and I called the commander, Bob Lafort, right away. And Bob, if you're listening out there, because I told you to listen. Thank you, Bob Lafort, for just allowing me to do what I think I'm pretty good at, is to get stuff. So, Bob, the work that he has done that American Legion post in the last 4 years, and he's had help, but I'm going to tell you, this man is so dedicated. And his goal, and I've sat with him many times over a couple of beverages, and his goal is to make American Legion Post 85 here in Woonsocket the American Legion post in the state of Rhode Island. And I'm going to tell you, with Imperial Chevrolet and Imperial Cars doing what they have done with this vehicle, it's just going to really put us on the map a lot more. And I can't express enough. I mean, thank you is just not enough for Kevin Meehan and his crew down in Mendon. I don't know what else to say. I hope somebody from there is listening and pass it on to them. But once we get this vehicle, it's going to make a world of difference. Once we get it on, of course, once we obtain possession, we have to go down and get the insurance, get it registered and everything. So it might be a week or two. So please don't be picking up the phone today and calling the post and saying, I need a ride. Yeah, not today, not today. But we'll come on the radio and if we get it in the middle of the week and we're ready to go, Joe, we'll give you a call here, and you guys can make the announcement, and we'll give you telephone numbers to call, and we'll just get it right. But we're super, super excited. So thank you again, Kevin, and all you guys down at Imperial. We really appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program, and this segment has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper, which Dave has in his hands at the moment.
Yes, I do. And you can get yourself a nice close-up of that if you like. In the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition of the Valley Breeze, we have stories from Bella Pelletier about Mayor Baldelli Hunt saying we're moving forward with Cass Park and the big meeting that was there, including some nice pictures of the wintry walk from the snow that we had. Parking becomes a big headache for residents of the Ridge Road area in North Smithfield. Bella has a story on that. She also will tell you about the sale of the old former Mr. Doughboy on Broncos Highway, which was then afterwards Oakley's, and has now been sold again. Scott McGee, friend of ours, had that listed, and it did move. And so the story in there will tell you what's coming up next. Then the Cumberland and Lincoln edition, we have... I think I'll just do it that way. We have Ray Lane named long-serving town sergeant in Cumberland. And let's see, butters to the blasting at Mendon and Broad are left high and dry, according to Ethan Shorey's article on the front page of the Valley Breeze. And at Rody Rug, it's what's on the inside that counts. Big story from Sophia Barr that goes inside the page to 17 there in the Cumberland Lincoln edition. They're all free where you shop. The Valley Breeze newspapers, free where you shop here in the Blackstone Valley.
The Broaster House is noted for its delicious chicken and seafood. Chicken includes broasted family packs and chicken family style, but they also serve other favorites like ribeye steak, meatloaf, and hot turkey sandwich. Try their great tasting steak sandwich, always ribeye, clam rolls, and turkey clubs. The Broaster House is at 263 Pond Street, Woonsocket. They welcome small parties and collations. Gift certificates are available year-round in any denomination. For takeout, call the Broaster House at 401-762-1717.
All right, Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket wants to remind you they're available on the web at Chan's Egg Rolls and Jazz. I'll say that again, Chan's Egg Rolls and Jazz.com. And of course, when you get in there, they always have the TVs going. They're big Friar fans. John is, of course. You can just imagine that. Big East champion. And they invite you to drop in and see all the games on the screens while you're there. You might enjoy the wonton and hot and sour soup, the crab rangoon, boneless ribs, Peking ravioli, Shanghai fish. What am I saying? Anybody in the area has a favorite when they go to Chan's, and you know what your favorite is, so drop on in. It'll be there hot and ready for you in just minutes when you drop into Chan's. 32 special combo dinners, delicious and reasonably priced. And, of course, scorpion bowls can be gotten to go. That's a new wrinkle since the pandemic started.
It is.
Yes.
Yep.
Enabled, and it's all legal, too. And tonight and tomorrow night, karaoke party with WRIK from 8 to 11 at Chan's.
When you visit the Menard Locature Funeral Home's website, you'll find a wealth of important information, including frequently asked questions about the various options of pre-planning funeral etiquette, visitation, personal help to help the family, and many others. Remember, pre-planning is safe and helpful to family members who may be overwhelmed with details and responsibilities. It also assures that the deceased's final wishes are met. Their website will also feature several photos of their two beautiful and classic funeral homes at 127 Carrington Avenue, Woonsocket, and 71 Central Street, Manville. You'll be treated with courtesy and understanding. Their main phone number is 762-1825. Menard Locature Funeral Homes.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, Coffee In on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, Rich Elaine, and
who has something else important to tell us
about your Purple Up campaign.
Yeah, I've mentioned it a couple of times. I got a couple updates with the Purple Up stuff. First of all, some of the raffle items that we have, and the most important thing, I guess, is that they are trying to put together something down at Foolproof Brewery, and the date is April 23rd, which is a Sunday. And it looks like right now it's going to be from noon to 6 o'clock, and Foolproof Brewery is allowing the auxiliary to go down there and just promote the Purple Up campaign. And I know for raffle items for a fact, because my granddaughters and I kind of, like I said, I'm pretty good at getting stuff for free. but what we got, and this is going to be worth something if the Bruins win the Stanley Cup, I'll tell you that much. We have a Boston Bruins autographed team jersey that with a certificate of authenticity with it. We have that to raffle off, and my wife does a little work at a jewelry store, and they donated a Xena bracelet, I guess, a wrist bracelet. I don't know much about women's jewelry, and that has a value of $375.
Wow.
So we have those two like upper end items for raffles, and but I talked to Nikki Lafort, the president of the auxiliary, and she is going to be posting everything that they got planned for Purple Up on your events page. I'm going to talk to her this evening when we're listening to Christine play some music, and I'll talk to her and we'll get her to get on the events page, put it all down, and so and when you look at that events page, folks, if you can sit there and say, oh, there's nothing to do in the Woonsocket area, you're dead wrong.
There's always
something to do.
Always something
Let
going
me tell
on.
you.
Well, fantastic, Rich. So good update. That's great. Just take a look at some other things going on in the news, and you got to be glad you're up here. There's odd things going on in other parts of the state that we don't want to be a part of. And Warwick School Committee member Karen Backus was arraigned on assault and DUI charge.
Yeah, we heard about that.
She entered a not guilty plea.
She failed the field sobriety test, but she's fighting it.
Yeah, she was arrested last month following the field sobriety test, and then allegedly hit the officer at the police station.
Wow.
Nice lady.
She was released on $1,000 personal
I don't think a police
recognizance.
officer is going to make that up, but hey, the court system will take its course.
Public figure, you get in a little trouble, so you double down. Probably should just own it and.
But if you're And we're speculating here. If she's drunk at the time, she's probably not thinking clearly. And
Well, right. but-
Yes, if the
start,
officer is correct, then she was intoxicated.
Yes.
Then perhaps her behavior might not have been well thought out. Is that what you're trying to say, Joe?
that's what I'm trying to say there,
Okay.
Dave.
Dave, you are so eloquent with this stuff.
It's very diplomatic.
This was a
Everyone
big
has a role to play, Rich.
this was a big story in Massachusetts. I don't know if you remember hearing about it. This is out of the Registry of Motor Vehicles in Brockton, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
About a year or so ago, where people that were failing the driving test, here you go, here's your license anyway.
I saw
and
that.
thousands of people got it, and before they finally said, "Hey, what's going on over here?" Well, 2 people are facing federal charges, accusing them of issuing passing scores to people who failed the driver and permit tests at the Brockton Registry of Motor Vehicles.
There might have
So
been a
they
little
got
bit of
caught.
a financial payout. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, here you
Ooh,
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, dear.
Mia
That's quite the accusation. I'm not
Mia
sorry.
Cox Johnson of Brockton was a manager. Ooh, top dog at the facility, charged with taking cash in order to issue passing marks for failed tests.
See, and I didn't even know that until he just read it. See, he was taking cash. It's a little bit of foresight there.
Well,
you
he's
know?
charged with it anyway. Yeah.
Estavo Samedo, also of Brockton, charged with conspiracy to commit honest services mail fraud. Samedo owned a driving school and allegedly conspired to have licenses issued to people who failed the road tests. I'm sure you get a little cut of the deal as well. So
Right.
that was a big deal in Mass, saying what are they doing? And we just wonder how many people are on the road in Massachusetts that have failed their driving tests and have licenses.
And that many
Well, they
people
all drive
fail.
like that anyway, Joe.
Well, that's right. So how do you tell, right?
I was waiting for the Massachusetts
Wait a
driver
minute now.
comments.
Am I the only one sitting behind these microphones that's from Mass?
No, I'm from Mass.
Are you? See?
Oh, yeah.
What are they saying about us, Joe?
Well, in my estimation, Rhode Island's got worse drivers.
I'll say yes to
I
it.
see. Okay, all us Massachusetts people say that. And
I
you know,
see.
you know why I say that, Rich?
Why?
Because
because it's another state.
no, because I have driven in morning drive rush hour on the Southeast Expressway, and how there's not a deadly accident every single day is a miracle.
Or they're better drivers.
Or they're just better drivers.
Well, okay.
You come off of 295 up at it, because I come out of North Smithfield from the trophy place that I go to a lot, and like when you get to that area where it branches off to the right for 99, and like you're heading toward 99, like, and that
Right.
intersection
The
where
racetrack.
they get off and 146 is to the left and 99 is to the right, and
Yeah, it's chaos.
And I'm like, you know.
It's that way on the other
Oh, that
side
is-
too.
I don't know, Melissa. You probably know about that area a little bit, but I don't know how many people they got that abutment right there where you go to 99. I wonder how many people have hit that sucker head on at night, because that is a tough thing to see, even in the daytime.
Oh, that very small little like.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I know.
It's like
Yeah.
a cement fixture there, and it's like, oh, geez, that's where it is. But,
Yeah.
It comes up quick.
that's crazy.
All right, Japan, the country of Japan, has 7,000 more islands than they previously thought. They just
Well, they've reclassified
Here you
them?
go. Well, digital mapping done by the Geospatial Information Authority of Japan found the country has over 14,000 islands in its territory. That's more than double the figure of over 6,800 islands that's been official since 1987.
That's another one of those things like Pluto, where they say, oh, gee whiz, that's too small to be an island. It's an atoll.
Maybe, yeah.
Right? And so we're just going to count the islands that are fully sized and have an ecosystem on them. But then someone comes along and says, oh, no, we need more islands. So all you got to do is convert those atolls into islands.
So now the discovery isn't leading to a change of the overall area of land in the country's possession. So nothing
not.
changes.
Of course not. They're
But-
just relabeling atolls into islands.
Yeah. So, but now they can say we have the most islands.
Now, why is
ever.
Melissa laughing when I say
Because
that?
I think it's funny.
Anyway, we gotta wrap up
Well,
the
it's
show.
true. I mean, hey, listen. You know,
No, I'm not saying that it's not
somebody
true.
Somebody wants to get in the newspapers, and they're an astronomer, and nobody's discovering any new things anymore. So they
Right,
say,
'cause they've all been discovered.
What we'll do is we'll just take some of the things that we discovered, and
And
we'll
change the name.
reclassify them, and I'll get my name in the paper.
What's the name of that Hugh Grant movie where they do that in the town? That their only claim to fame was there's a mountain there. It takes place in England, and when they measure it, it's really a hill. And they don't have a mountain, and they're very distraught in the town, and somehow they turn it into a mountain.
So can we just talk about Pluto for a second? Is it a planet or is it not? Because it was, and then it wasn't, and then it was again.
They redefined what a planet was, and they never redefined it back to a planet.
I say it's a planet.
Oh no, there's still a major controversy going on in that, unless I didn't get a memo on something.
Never
That's
forget
seriously-
Pluto.
That's Mickey
planet.
Mouse's dog, isn't it?
It was. That's right.
Oh no, it's too small to be a planet now. So even though it was
We have
a
to
planet
change his
before,
name to Neptune.
All right,
we took out the measuring tape, and it's no longer a planet. Yeah,
we put the
right.
car up on the internet once again. That's being donated to Fairmont Post 85
by Imperial Cars.
Congratulations! You'll be taking possession of it hopefully within the next week or so.
Sounds great.
And then you can
Sounds
start
great. It
looks great.
taking veterans to doctor's appointments that need it.
Yep,
Right
and
out of
don't be
Post
afraid to
85.
call the and
And you're going to do it for free.
Yeah, real quick. It's just not veterans that belong to the post either. This is open. This is all veterans.
Right.
Don't think you're going to belong to a certain entity. You don't.
Perfect.
All veterans.
All right. Thank you very much for listening. We thank Rich Severia, who joined us earlier,
Thanks,
talking about
Richard.
his CPR class coming up on March 30th. Dave, thanks for coming in as well.
Been a pleasure.
All right. Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And Rich Lane, thanks for coming in
Always
as well.
a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. This is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Watch out for the snow tonight.
That's right. And Gary Smith and the crew, do you remember, is coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A 43-year-old Rhode Island man with 2 prior drug-related convictions is charged with drug trafficking again. The U.S. Attorney's Office says that last November, federal agents intercepted a package sent from Colombia containing a significant amount of cocaine. Homeland